Got a nice suit or thing on. I don't know. This is a polo shirt, obviously. But, obviously, I guess special occasion, not really. And either way, NFL Week 6 Power Rankings, where does your team rank? I'll tell you this one. Obviously, we got more bye leagues, but big games coming this week. Here is, again, wherever team sits through 5 weeks, I guess. Whatever. NFL Week 6 Power Rankings. And with that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fun. Of course, please like and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy the NFL Week 6 Power Rankings. Of course, it was after a week that we saw a lot of crazy football. Obviously, some teams were on bye, so not going to see too much fluctuation where they are in the power rankings. Obviously, they're probably going to move around a little bit because I'm not really paying attention to where they were last week. I mean, obviously, some teams will move up, but some teams will move down. That's going to be stuff to take note of. Either way, though, obviously, going through every single NFL team, again, 1 is being the best, 32 being the worst team in the league. And, of course, we're not going from 32 to 1 because, I mean, that's just kind of boring. So, yeah, let's just go by team. And, thankfully, we are starting out with the worst team in football. That would be the Carolina Panthers, who just got their absolute butts kicked by the Bears on the road last week. They will be heading to, no, they're home this week. What am I talking about? They're going to play the Falcons. Probably going to have a similar type of game. Again, I'll give you guys a preview for that, of course, on Sunday morning. But obviously, the Panthers are not a very good team. And yeah, Andy Dalton doesn't really look like he's doing too much. But hey, Bryce Young looks really good, according to Dave Canales, of course, their head coach. My guess is he'll be out of there in less than probably at the end of the year, maybe even sooner if this team continues to play the way they have at least last week. But yeah, they didn't really do anything good. Jags, they got their first win of the season, which is something. I'll put them at 24 for that. But overall, the problem with this Jags team is really the consistency, and again, overall, just again the discipline of this defense. To be honest with you, because a lot of talented guys in that secondary for sure, or not really in the secondary, just on the defense in total. And the fact that, again, that they're just not always playing together or the communication's off is going to be an issue for them for most of the year. Obviously, this defense has been a problem for them over the past 3 weeks. Offensively, you're kind of going to take what you get with them. Obviously, that run game is a complete mess right now. We don't know if Travis Etienne Jr. is even okay right now because he didn't play at all last week. And also, again, that's just not very good there. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is coming off by far the best game of the season so far. So that is something. They have to get their first win. See if they can continue. Of course, they're going for their of course annual 2-game London trip these next 2 weeks. So maybe, hey, they could go into 3 and 4. Of course, returning back to the States. The Giants, I'm going to put at 23. You might be saying, how the heck are they there? They're not a good football team. Well, you're right about that. But they just had their biggest win, I'd honestly say, since they beat who the heck was it? I don't even remember. But they went into Seattle and beat them. They played really good football. Is it sustainable? Not really. And am I confident in them? Not really. But again, defensively, they're actually a pretty legit group. I'm actually going to move them to 22. Maybe I'll even move them up higher after this. But yeah, this Giants team, yes, they're not very good really at all. They're not the most talented, but they can continue to play a brand of football like this. They could actually win a couple of games this year. I'm not saying they're going to be anything better than 7-10, but hey, that's best case scenario. So at least that's something. Not what we were expecting coming into the year, obviously. For the Buccaneers, that's a tough loss. I'll still put them at 14, though. Maybe I'll move them up a little bit, too. But offensively, they're still really solid. The problem with them last week is the fact that, again, their running game wasn't really able to be established in that second half, outside of maybe like one long run by Rachaad White. And that hurt them a lot of aspects, as well as the fact that Baker didn't really play super well in terms of, again, his footwork and just overall consistency. And when that does happen, it's kind of hard for your offense to, again, put a game away, obviously. Defensively, there's a lot of concerns, obviously, with how they tackled and just overall how many yards they get to Kirk Cousins. But I think that's just a one-week thing. Again, if they do get Antoine Jr. back this week, I think they'll have a big bounce back against the Saints. But they're going to be at 14 for now. Chargers are going to go at, I'll put them at 16, I guess. They're probably a little bit lower. Obviously, they've lost back-to-back games after that 2-0 start. But again, they played pretty well against the Chiefs. I mean, everyone does, I guess. But they absolutely didn't do enough. Again, they're coming off their bye. They look a little bit more healthy. And again, maybe that running game can get back into form. Of course, they will be playing the Broncos in what, honestly, could be a very intriguing matchup, to be honest with you guys. Again, you'll see the preview for that on Sunday. All right, Bears. The Bears are still not a team I really take very seriously, but they had their best game of the season so far. Also, give them some credit there. Yes, this defense, I will acknowledge, is pretty legit. Offensively, though, again, it was one game, but yeah, DJ Moore looked like the DJ Moore we saw for parts of last year. Obviously, the running game still is a work in progress, but Caleb Williams was really confident, and again, discipline, just made the throws he was supposed to. And when that does happen, they're actually pretty good. Obviously, back-to-back wins for them. They will be taking on the Jags in London, so that'll definitely be an interesting game to watch for sure. Commanders, I don't know how you don't put them at at least 6 or 5. I'll put them at 6 for now. You could argue they're definitely higher. They're probably the hottest team in football right now. Of course, 4 straight wins at this point. Offensively, they haven't been doing anything wrong. Obviously, a lot of explosive explosive plays. Jaden Daniels has been by far the best rookie, even better than we saw from C.J. Stroud in a lot of ways. And that defense also looks like they're pretty legit. I wouldn't say that's obviously for sure, because again, they were so bad last year, and again, statistically, they're still atrocious. But they obviously had their best game of the year defensively last week against a terrible Browns team. So again, take it with a grain of salt, but I'm going to keep their Commanders at 6, because probably the highest they're going to be all year. But again, if they can prove it against a Ravens squad that is honestly probably even hotter than them, then that might be something again to watch out for. But again, that's definitely going to be the game of the week. Definitely the game I'm going to be watching the most there. All right, up next will be the Green Bay Packers. They're a team that, again, I'm still very bullish on. I'm going to put them at 9. Yes, did they not play their best game against the Rams? That is true. But if Jordan Love, again, took the Dan Orlovsky over the whatever the hell that pick 6 was, then they would have won this game probably by double digits. But obviously, they were able to finish it out, close out the Rams. Not really completely, but again, the defense obviously stepped up there. And this defense is able to be a little bit more consistent against the run, because they weren't really that last week. And offensively, again, there's not just complete disaster at some points. They should be okay. But, again, that's one game, and it's like whatever. But they're still obviously a team that I really think is very, very good. But, they haven't played their best football the past couple weeks. And obviously, Jordan Love only his second game back coming into last week. All right, Falcons. I'm putting them at 12. I'm not going to overreact for an overtime win against a team that they'll probably be like dead even with at the end of the season. So, yes, that is the case, but the Falcons proved that, again, offensively, they can be a really fun group to watch, and again, they really came together, and I would say they completely clicked, but again, they proved that, again, it's not like all running game, it's not like all Kirk Cousins throwing underneath and stuff, like, they actually moved the ball really, really well. Obviously, defensively, there's still some stuff to work on, but they also look pretty solid overall, especially in that second half. Should they have lost that game last week? Absolutely. There's no reason. Again, the Bucs shouldn't. Again, defensively, they closed it out. Just the offense wasn't able to do enough there. So, yes, the Falcons are a team that, again, I'm not, like, super-duper confident in, but, again, they have won back-to-back games, and their team, again, has been proven to win these close games, which, again, is a lot better than some other teams. Not hitting at the Rams if you thought about that. Patriots, they're still the second worst team in the football. You could argue they played the worst football the past couple weeks, but Drake May is going to come in and not throw for 160 yards, so at least that's something, and I got a little surprise for you guys in that game they're going to play against the Texans this week. But yeah, Drake May is going to make his debut, so that's at least something there. Eagles, 13. I'm still, again, the talent of this Eagles team you just really can't ignore. There are going to be games where they're just going to, like, beat teams purely off of that. Yes, Nick Sirianni, honestly, I think it would make more sense for him to be fired than Robert Saleh. And yes, this team's still really banged up right now, but again, coming off their bye, I think they're going to look really solid, obviously, against a really bad Browns team. But more importantly, for this Eagles team, they got to come together, and I really think if they're able to play, again, complimentary football this week, they, again, and really build off of it, this team should be able to get on somewhat of a roll. I don't know for sure, but again, I'm not too confident in the Eagles, but again, you just can't ignore that talent. That's why they're there. Jets are going to go at 20. No, I got to put them at 19. The Jets are just getting in their own way right now, to be honest with you guys. Obviously, again, here's my opinion that Robert Saleh firing. What the hell are you doing, guys? Want to know why the Jets haven't made the playoffs in 13 damn years? It's literally because Woody Johnson doesn't know what the hell he's doing. That's just a simple truth about it, guys. Yes, has Robert Saleh had a really rough time coaching the Jets? There's no, again, obviously, the 20-36 record, I mean, that tells you for itself. But, the problem with this Jets team is that, again, outside of maybe the Commanders, and arguably, who was even thinking of, like, again, you could argue, again, probably even the Commanders, there hasn't been a team with worse quarterback play than the New York Jets. Yes, I get you could say, oh, the Browns last year won 11 games. Well, they at least had something that, again, Joe Flacco, a lot of interceptions, I get that, but they got something out of him that was productive. The Jets' offense has been anything but productive, and for that reason, the defense got burned out, which again is what Robert Saleh was brought in there to do. Have a very solid defense, and the offense, like, yeah, they're going to figure that out. Obviously, that didn't happen this year. Again, if the Broncos loss is inexcusable, but the fact that, again, you're like basically telling Robert Saleh, yeah, you got to go into London, where again, after a game where again it was terrible weather, you got really roughed up against the Broncos one way or another, and basically told him, you got to win this game or you're gonna get fired. Basically, that's what Woody Johnson told him. I mean, he didn't obviously say that, but the fact that again, you came to that game expecting that against a Vikings squad that obviously has been playing out of their minds so far this year, again, there's no reason you should fire him just because of that type of game. Yes, again, they obviously could have won it, but like, it's not necessary, and also it's just freaking stupid, to be honest with you guys. Yeah, you think that their DC is going to come in there and do a lot, and either way, it's the offense that's the problem, guys. It's not great in Jetland there, guys. But again, back-to-back losses for them. They got to put their crap together if they want to have any shot at doing anything this year against the Bills. That's all I got to say there. Broncos! The Broncos have a good defense. They're going to go at 17. No, they're not better than the Bears. The Bears, at least offensively, I think are going to be pretty solid. Obviously, Bo Nix had by for the best game of his career so far. Not really saying much, though. I mean, he should have had 3 touchdowns. Troy Franklin dropped that bomb. But that Raiders defense was terrible against them. Obviously, though, defensively, they're really, really, really good. So that's why they're here. Is it sustainable? Probably not. But they have won 3 straight, and you got to take again. You got to at least like acknowledge that, because if you don't, well, maybe something happens. But yeah, they're gonna be at 18 for now. Ravens are gonna go at 5. I might even put them up higher, to be honest with you guys, because the Ravens again, yes. Defensively, they didn't really do anything last week, but the fact they've gotten 3 straight really solid road wins, not really road wins, my bad. 3 straight really solid wins against really good teams tells you that this team is really, really good. Yes, I get they lost first 2 games, but they won 3 straight, and I think they've been the most impressive team over those past 3 weeks. For that reason, they're going to go at 5. Honestly, I might even put them up higher. Alright, so yeah, Ravens at 5. Next up is the New Orleans Saints. And they're going to go at 23, I think. That's where I'll put them. All right, obviously, Derek Carr is going to be allowed at least the next 2 games. Obviously, they play the Bucs on Sunday, then they play on Thursday Night Football. I think they host the Broncos, so, yeah, there. But, again, Derek Carr, obviously, the oblique injury, he got absolutely trucked a lot on Monday Night Football. It wasn't just that play, obviously, at the end there. But Spencer Rattler is going to be starting for them, so I hope he does a Will Levis and throws, like, 6 touchdowns in his debut, but more likely than not, it's going to be a tough one for them against the Bucs, but yes, they've lost, obviously, 3 straight games, but they're going to have to lean into that running game, and, yeah, the receivers are going to have to step up if they want any shot at winning that one against the Bucs. But, hey, it's crazier things have happened, obviously. But, yeah, 3 straight losses for the Saints. Not looking good there. Raiders are going to go at 26. No, yeah, I think I'll put them there. Defensively, they're still a group that, again, you got to take into account just because, again, there's some games where they play really, really well, and they're actually pretty good in close games. But right now, the problem for the Raiders, obviously, is they don't know who the hell their quarterback is. Technically, just bench Gardner Minshew, but again, Aiden O'Connell will play like a half and suck, and they'll put in Gardner Minshew. So it's just complete mess there at quarterback, and there's really no way to do anything with that. Obviously, they also lost Christian Wilkins for probably a minute, so that's not good either. Raiders aren't in a very good spot either. Chiefs are at 1 because, again, they've won 11 straight games, and they're the Chiefs. So, I mean, unless they, like, lose, they're not moving anywhere. Up next is the Buffalo Bills. They've come into a little bit of a rough patch. I'm not going to go too crazy on them. Yes, Sean McDermott was an idiot for letting them throw the ball 3 times from their own 3-yard line, and all of them obviously were incomplete, leading them to that loss, obviously. But again, they got blown out by the Ravens. Tough loss against the Texans last week. Just bounced back against the Jets team. You guys that is very beatable, and you guys should be fine. But that's a game. Again, they haven't played well at all the last 2 weeks. I get that, but it's still the Bills. I'm not going to overreact to 2 losses. That again, last week it was just a tough loss. I get that, but they also was their fault. All right, Titans are going to go at 27. Again, they beat the Dolphins. Like, cool. The Dolphins suck, so that's something. But yeah, the Titans still only have 1 win, and again, unless Will Levis does something crazy, I don't really expect this team to be very good this year. 49ers, what the hell happened? They're going to go at 10. But what the hell happened? Like, actually, like, that was awful. I don't know. The Niners are just a little bit sketchy right now. I really don't know what to expect from them right now. But again, if they're able to bounce back against the Seahawks, that will go a long way to helping out their case. But yeah, they're not really supporting it right now. Like, what the heck happened against the Cardinals? Again, it was bad. They're 0-2 in the division now. Like, you can't lose this game against the Seahawks. Next up is the Cardinals. Cardinals are actually a very inconsistent team, but that's something I do like about them because, again, they're kind of experimenting and trying to figure out what their identity is. Again, if you're trying to find your identity and you're trying to stick with it, that is something I support fully. So, again, if there's some inconsistencies, you just got to go with it because that's how it works, guys. And, again, it looks like they're kind of starting to get that, obviously, with what we saw last week and then come back win. Maybe a little bit better, and again, I'll play a little bit better in that second and third quarter. That would help there, but, hey, get the bounce back win. They're looking pretty solid now, 2-0 in the division. Pretty big game in Green Bay this week. Dolphins are going to go at 28. Guys, the Dolphins are just not a very good team. I get they beat the Patriots, but the Patriots suck. So, like, what does that tell you? Well, not really anything. So, yeah, I'm going to put in 28, guys. Tyler Huntley played, he did something. But, like, guys, this is the Dolphins. Like, I have no confidence in the team. Yeah, they have 2 wins. Cool. They played, 2 is obviously out for a little bit. Maybe they're going to go probably a lot higher most of the rest of the season. Again, 2 comes back. But, yeah, they're just not a team that I really think is competitive at all. Next up, Browns are at 29. They're just complete train wreck, guys. There's no team in a worse situation in the entire NFL right now. I might move them up a little bit, too. I'll think about that. Rams are going to go 25 for 9. Might have to move them down. Obviously, this is a team that just can't really buy a win right now. And when that does happen, it's kind of hard to, again, have faith in them, obviously. But I say they can pull out of this hole, but everybody's got to get healthy. That's going to really be a reality for them. But at least they... Alright, up next is the Dallas Cowboys, who obviously, they looked pretty good last week. Not great overall, but they look pretty good. I'm not putting them in 8. I'll put them at, 9, I guess. They got to absolutely back-to-back win. No, I got to move them up. There's no way they're this high. This still doesn't look good. There we go. All right, Cowboys at 12. No, the Falcons are better than aren't as good as them. Whatever, they're at 11. Defensively, they had a big bounce back game. They didn't really get much yardage. Obviously, 3 turnovers by Dak doesn't really help out. But again, if he didn't have those 3 really bad turnovers, they probably would have won this game by a lot. But again, it's the Steelers, so can't really expect much. It was a hard fought win though. Obviously, Dak. Big last drive, but they got to figure out a way to run the ball a little bit more effectively. This team's going to really be legit. But back-to-back wins for them. I don't know if they're going to beat the Lions, but they do look pretty solid. Vikings are going to go at number 2 because they're the only other undefeated team. They have been the best team overall this year, even if, again, I don't think that's going to last. But they are 5-0. You got to, again, say something about it. Of course, both these teams are on bye weeks to boot it as well. All right, Colts are up next. The Colts are going to go at 21, I guess. The Colts are a team that are very interesting, but, again, defensively, they're still not very good. Obviously, they got lit up, but, hey, offensively, Joe Flacco looked pretty fun. I don't really know what to think about it. This team, they're kind of all over the place, and honestly, that's why they're going to sit there. Bengals. They're not at 30, so move them up, 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 move them up. I gotta put them at 21. Yes, they are 1-4, and they're technically the worst team in the NFL if we're gonna really put that out there. But there's no reason they should be 1-4. Obviously, they're offensively, they've been one of the best offenses in the entire NFL this year. But when your defense sucks and the game management really sucks as well, kind of hard to win football games. So, I think they probably get that squared away. They should be okay. But, yeah, the Bengals are in a really rough spot right now. Steelers, where's that one slot I wanted? Packers, I guess we can move up. Same with the Niners and the Bills and the Cowboys. And, yeah, they're going to go at, like, I don't even know. 15. Again, Chargers and Steelers I think in a very similar boat. Offensively, again, they're just not really good enough. Defensively, they're really fun to watch, but like guys, again, there's only so many games you're gonna win this way. They gotta like at least play do some sort of solid game plan against some of these other teams because they're not gonna win all of these. Seahawks. Yeah, I guess we move the Ravens up and the Commanders and the Packers and the Niners and the Bills. No, there we go. Yeah, that Seahawks loss was kind of unexcusable, to be honest with you guys, or inexcusable. That's a game they obviously have to win. But, again, it's one loss, so I'm not going to get too crazy about it. But they got to bounce back against the Niners and play, again, a complete brand of football. Because if they're not able to do that, not going to be good for the Seahawks. Again, they've obviously lost back-to-back games. I guess we move the Browns back, Titans back, Raiders back, blah, 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 blah. We got a lot of teams to move back. There we go. Oh, that was not supposed to be there. There we go. So I'm just going to move all these teams back so we have room for, again, the teams at the top. There we go, there we go, there we go. And, alright, Texans. I guess we'll start talking about them. Texans obviously have not been the most dominant team by any means this year. But, obviously, they have been, one of the more consistent teams, though, anyway. And, obviously, they're 4-1. So, you got to acknowledge that. Again, back-to-back wins, too. C.J. Stroud hasn't been, again, as good as he obviously was last year, but he's still been very, very good for this team. And, again, they've won close games. They beat a really good team last week. I don't think I'll call it a statement, but a very solid win for them. I think that will, again, go a long way for them. They are 4-1, obviously, as well. So, see they continue playing like this. Obviously, don't want to drop the ball this week. Lions are going to go at number 3 because I really like them. They're also probably the 3rd best team in the league. You could argue the Ravens are ahead of them, but, guys, the Lions offensively just went crazy last week. And I expect them to have a similar type of game against the Cowboys. But with all that said, that's all I got for the Week 6 NFL Power Ranks, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, wrap your opinions on where every team is in the comment section below. Who do you think is the best team in the NFL right now? I mean, again, it's the Chiefs, but again, if you think something else, well, I'd like to see the reason. But that's all I got for you guys here, and yeah, get ready for tomorrow night because we got a pretty big game on Thursday Night Football.
Pressure picked up by McFadden. Romo coming near side for Williams. He's involved now. Touchdown.